I'd like to call the regular, oh, sorry, not the regular finance committee, the special board meeting of the Ross Valley Sanitary District order for September 18th. May I have a roll call, please, Christina?
Here. Director Kelly?
Here.
Director Silla?
Here.
Director Gaffney?
Here.
Director Borstein?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now I'd like to adjourn to closed session. I'd like to reconvene us to open session. There's nothing to report from the closed session. I'd like a motion for approval of the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And now time for public comment. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to address the board? That's excellent. We love public comment. We don't often have it these days.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
I don't really have a prepared, I have something, but I don't have a prepared speech. How much time do I have? Oh,
3 minutes typically, but we're not going to count. So
well, I'll try and do it.
I'd move to waive the rules.
So I guess I'm being recorded, are I not?
yes.
Not
Fair to release my address, or should I not?
Just tell us what town you're from, please, and your name.
I'm from Fairfax. My name's Elizabeth Mooney, and I have a history with the Sanitary District.
Into the microphone, please. Yeah.
Hello, testing. So I have a history with the Sanitary District. So in 2003, I purchased my house with my family in 1999, and idyllic little forever home. And in 2003, I came out to the back of my house early in the morning, about 5 a.m, and I found dirt and debris and water and I don't know what else at the back of my house, which is 100 feet from the back of my property, at least, if not more. So I had to do a lot of research myself, and I did. And I found that a complete collapse of the hillside on 31 Ellsworth, which is up on the top of the hill, had collapsed. And it was due to, the history goes, as the record would show, and you probably have this in your records, you should have this in your records, is that the road was cut for the sanitary line to go in for the uphill neighbors of Oak Manor View, I guess it's called. And when they did that, they didn't remove the dirt, they pushed it over the hillside. And it sat there for a long time. And in 2003, it just gave away. And it was from my backyard to the back of my property, which is quite large, like I said, was at least 3 feet of dirt and debris, completely obliterated my backyard, took out my shed, took out my fence. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So Sanitary District, this is what I discovered, was that they were responsible for this hillside collapse. They did a great job of correcting the hillside and fixing that fix. But I also had pointed out, and they took responsibility and, paid to have my backyard above ground taken care of. And sorry, just kind of went brink. Okay, so there was still more to come down, and I knew it. And I said, look, this whole other side, this hillside's going to come. Oh no, we're good. No, we're not good. So in 2005, that other hillside did come down, and it created another claim against Sanitary District, which they took responsibility for. And every time this has happened, they also, I'll just kind of go through this. So 2003, 2005, 2008, further collapse, 2011, further collapse. And these later ones were not really a claim, but they were problematic. And the biggest problematic is that there is a culvert, which I believe, I don't have all the details specifically, but I do know that Sanitary District came and rebuilt the culverts that's there. Scraped out the bed, the whole creek bed, which has since built because the hill continues to fall down. I did send a note last week and a half ago to Steve Moore and to one of the engineers, and I didn't send it to all of you, and I we'll do that if you need to see the color photos. And I've got color photos right here to show you the result of what's happening. Over these years, 2008, 2011, 2017, 2020, Steve Moore I spoke to and contacted about this one that had happened in 2017, another collapse, a bunch of dirt came down and they realized it, went up, fixed it, put up this big, huge plastic. So for 3 years, there's this plastic sitting up there, really wasn't fixed. And I was going, what is that noise? I could hear this flop, flop, flop in the wind. I went up there and I went, oh my God. And I didn't even have to go up there. I knew what it was. It was the plastic flapping in the wind. So that was around the 2020 year. So over all these years of now 20 years, the dirt that's come down the hillside has completely obliterated, or not obliterated. It fills up the culvert that's there. 2040 Stevens Court is the property owner who owns the culvert. We don't own it. I've asked both property owners, one of which I sent to Steve Moore and someone else, if they could please clean the culvert out because it's affecting our property. Nope, we're not going to touch it. It's a county issue. And what I sent was they did a AAA had done a insurance claim, and they looked at the history and the whatnot, and they realized, which is true, that hillside is still coming down because they were told it's their hill or the rest of the hill. Nope, it's still coming down from that hillside. In fact, the second one they built, they put something up and it's kind of, it's kind of concaved out. So behind it has come out, and it's, if you go up there, you'll see that it's like empty behind it, a shell of a whatever. Okay, and I have gone up there recently, not too recently, but the last 2 times I went up there on 31 Ellsworth, I got kind of scolded by the owner of the property and said, don't come on my property anymore. I'm like, okay, whatever. So that was kind of unfortunate because she was always agreeable for me to come and inspect because it ends up in my backyard. I'm really the only one that's affected by this hillside collapse, which continues to come down. When they rebuilt I'm trying to do this as fast as I can, but when they rebuilt the culvert, it was down. They kind of built it up. So in the building of it up, it has completely continued to, the creek bed gets higher from all the dirt coming down, and the dirt continues to go into the culvert, and the neighbors continue to refuse to clean it out. 3 years it sat there full of dirt. And finally, they gave us a lawyer letter, said, oh, we're not going to touch it. It's a county issue. If you want to fix it, you can go ahead. And I'm like, I'm not into lawyers. And I appreciated the sanitary district working with me all these years. But I will say, since probably about 2017, it's been a lot of radio silence from the sanitary district. When I have an issue and I call Steve Miskus, who no longer, I understand, is no longer with the district, it was always the one I would call. He would, the last time I told him, I'm in San Anselmo, I can't get over there, and never did come. Nobody ever called. I call for these frantic calls. One year I was there by myself. My husband wasn't there. The neighbors were all gone. I have this problem and nobody's there to help me. So, we're dealing with it as best we can, but here's the deal. We have pipes that our county has been informed as well. So I've talked to the county, I've talked to the superintendent, sorry, I'm a school teacher, supervisor's office, Katie Rice's office. And we have an issue and it needs to be fixed. And I'm saying it's a sanitary district issue because it has been for 20 years. And that dirt that comes down goes into the pipes, sits there, rots out the pipes. Pipes are now rotten. I now have a sinkhole in my backyard, 6 feet from the foundation of my house. And the pipe underneath it is not good.
Is that a sewer pipe?
This is a water line pipe. Okay. It's not a sewer pipe, but the sewer came
drainage
down.
Or water drainage?
It's a drainage from the creek bed.
Okay.
And the sewer, sanitary district also went up there to mitigate, it's pretty much 3 feet from your sewer line up there, that hillside collapse. Of course, you have to protect the sewer line. When they did that, they put up a little culvert up there that works just perfectly fine, doesn't get filled with dirt from the hillside, but they put in this huge pipe that comes straight down to the creek bed, to the top of the creek bed. It's a big, huge pipe. And when it rains, it usually would go, kind of mitigate into the, or whatever you call it, dissipate into the ground. But no, it goes into this pipe and it floods out a lot of water straight down to the creek bed.
Okay. So I'm just going to summarize what I've heard. And then that as the result of something that the sanitary district needed to do a long time ago, there's continued troubles and it's not, and nobody's taken responsibility. There are a lot of
sanitary district has taken responsibility. Okay. 23, 2005, 2011. And there hasn't been a need to take responsibility in the future years, except for I have asked, I have it in writing. I said, you need to slip my pipes because all that dirt is going into my pipes and it's sitting in there and it's not okay. And it's rotting those pipes
What
out.
pipe? Is it a
Drainage pipe.
It's a drainage pipe.
ditch
It's
or
a no,
pipe?
it's a drainage pipe that goes, it's an easement from the county that I guess got approved to go into this piece of property from a creek bed. It's not a great
So
design.
staff, could we ask you to support with the county? Is that unreasonable? It sounds to me like it is a county issue or no?
Yeah,
No,
drainage
it's
is
a
a
sanitary
county.
issue. I'm seeing it as.
You're
It could
not
be a
in the
county.
city of,
I am in the county. I'm not in the city of Fairfax.
you're not in Fairfax.
No,
Okay.
it's a county, you know, it's a county issue, but it's also a sanitary district issue. And
As a result of us doing something a long time ago that we needed to do. Is that
You've
right?
done a lot of things for a lot of years.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And Steve Moore, want to say something? Because I see him shaking his head.
Yeah, we did a permanent slope stabilization project in 2020. We hired the state-of-the-art Hanford ARC contractor, permanent solution, and we're done. Sanitary district is done. And we actually settled with Ms. Mooney, and
That was settlement for the top of my property.
Oh, I see.
Damage to the prop.
and
not to
and
the
so and then the settlement says that she waives all future claims related to this issue.
That was related to the issue on top of my house. That is not that you know, if you want a lawsuit, you're going to get one.
No,
I'm not- I don't
it's
want
not
one.
true. It's not true.
I don't
And
want
so
one.
this is a county drainage issue.
I understand.
The sanitary district is taking care of all of its obligations with related to past issues, and there's no issue with the
Yeah,
sanitary.
but when
sewer.
you sign a waiver, I'm sorry, I'm a lawyer. When you sign a waiver of all future claims, that does include that. But I do think that we could support in getting the supervisor's office attention to this.
Mhm.
Pam, do you want to say anything on this as one of our Fairfax?
What Steve is saying.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So here's what I do know. Maybe future from those slides, but they're continuing to be more slides. And the well, you know,
There's a natural, it's a natural system that have natural erosion, and there's nothing the district has done that is exacerbating any of it anymore.
well, I would say that if you go up there, and I'll go up there again and take some pictures, but it still has, I have pictures from not too long ago where there's still dirt just sitting there raw. There's not covered. It's going to still come down. I see it every time and it keeps coming down. That they came down to fix what they said, the drainage ditch, you know, the culvert. Well, it didn't work. Whatever. They
All right,
did,
well,
it's not working.
I think we've done what we can
Yeah.
here tonight.
What
So
does the county
Been
tell you? What does the
informed
county?
as best I can, but it's not, I'm not going to go away because
but you have released the district from all future liability.
no, I have not released them from all future liability.
Yeah, I have something in my
released them
hand.
from the future of what they did to the top of my property. I did not release them from what future to the bottom of my property or whatever, you know, whatever it is, there's still dirt coming down and, you know, it's easy for you to just wash it away.
Which now has, or which may ever hereafter accrue. Anyway, I don't want to leave you frustrated, but I do
not
think this is a
frustrated.
county issue. And it sounds like we were helpful in a certain point in time, but I think that we've
Yeah,
done all
so
we can do.
Mr. Moore, when I came in 2020, I talked to him in 2020. I said, I'm coming to a board meeting. And you know what he told me? Don't come to a board meeting. He did not want me to bring it to
Okay,
attention.
well, you have, but we've seen,
2020, we were still dealing with this. I never signed anything in 2020.
ma'am, I have something that says you've released us from all future liability.
What's the date on it?
June 3rd, 2018.
And that was for what? That was for some damage to my property.
It doesn't matter. You've released us from all, it's a general release. Anyway, I'm not going to, I'm not 100%.
We're
sure
happy
on
to
that.
help you with the supervisors. You're in Katie Rice's district, are you not?
You'll be hearing from somebody because
Okay.
it's not just a county issue.
Okay.
It's a, you know, whoever it is, it's an issue and it's affecting my house. And if they do research and find that sanitary district is responsible for the pipes, then they'll be coming to you. They will.
Okay,
And
We'll be here.
It's not this, we're not talking small pipes. We're talking big pipes that are 15, 20 feet, 16 feet down that I'm not even sure how to get to. And I have an issue with it this year because if it keeps going, what I want to do is like block that pipe because the more pipe, the reason this all happened.
ma'am, we've already spent more time than we
I'm
have.
just going to tell you how I found this out. I did my duty and had my lateral put in. And when the lateral was put in, I said, oh, he had the videotape. I said, can you videotape these pipes and see what's going on? That's when we discovered.
Are
this.
they're not sewer pipes?
We're
We're
the
responsible.
water pipes that the sewer line fixed from the water from the sanitary district district came down and worked on those pipes. The dirt is blocking those pipes because it keeps coming down
Okay.
on the hillside.
We're responsible for sewer pipes the way I see it.
I understand that, but you're responsible for also for the damage to my property, which was above ground, which I agreed to.
Which, okay.
Further, you know.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you coming in. All right. Agenda item number 8. Committee report out. Finance committee. That was Tom and me meeting yesterday.
Finance committee. Yes. We met yesterday and basically discussed a lot of the things on the consent calendar, and especially went over the financial report and continue to look at various things. It's a very good document. We are drawing down our reserves this year. And so they did a special section on the cash flow per quarter. And we have enough cash to get us through till we get our big share of money in December. So that was the one issue. We also talked about the sale of surplus property.
Okay.
Right.
And Victor, is that the new staff member? Victor is contributing to making the reports even more readable.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it.
They're getting more.
Pretty soon they're going to be graphic novels. Thank you. And other committee reports.
Central Marin Sand, I will do that.
Sure.
We didn't have a meeting. But we do we have a handout?
Oh, well, what I did forget to tell you about.
No, you're done.
No, you can have another.
We authorized the GM to execute contract for financial advisor.
No, we didn't authorize anything. We reviewed it.
You discussed it.
We reviewed the authorization.
Which we will.
Done at the consent calendar.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much for that, Christina. So this is the, and you know, I should get these newsletters to you every time. It's just the newsletter, and it reports about some of the things. We already spoke about these things at the meeting, most of them, but there's a few other things that are of interest to share. I think you just read it at your leisure.
Thank you.
Okay.
North Bay Watershed?
North Bay Watershed. We met August 30th. We had a different date to meet.
Is your microphone on?
Sorry?
Is your microphone on?
No. I'm not here. We met on August 30th. We had a guest speaker called Revitalizing North Bay, Community-Driven Waterfront Access Initiatives. Stephanie Bastion, Executive Director, Friends of the Petaluma River, and Janelle Selleck, Executive Director, American Canyon Community and Parks Foundation. Basically, they talked about projects coming up, and they're trying to create along the river, like a lot of places where families can hang out and there won't be any single path bicycles. So they're having all these different projects. They're doing very well. Community's very happy about it. Our budget right now is $571,000. Andy did talk about, I guess there's a small work group with the North Bay Watershed. We're starting to look at other projects that can influence the North Bay. What else? They did the transition with CMSA, and he said it wasn't easy. It was 24 years, a long time. So there was issues around some research and signatures and different things, but I believe it's done. Now, the scholarship, we had a meeting and we're thinking about possibly looking at other agencies to do a co-sponsoring, because I think others have already done scholarships. So that's the next idea we have. And also I forgot about the Petaluma River. They're looking at some preliminary projects such as tree planting, restoration, and a beaver analog. And there is going to be on December 5th, Napa County Watershed Symposium, One Water. Maybe I should send this around in an email. And it's going to be in Napa County, but it looks fabulous. And that's my report.
Thank you. Verbal report by General Manager.
Well, thank you, President Zilla and board members. I've got, I guess, 6 items. They'll be pretty quick though. First, I wanted to let you know we have been working cooperatively with SD2 about a boundary correction, between our districts and clearing up which parcels go where based on dye tests that we conducted. But that got delayed. I had reported earlier that LAFCO was going to consider it in June. What LAFCO realized is as they start their MSR process, municipal services review process for central Marin sanitary agencies, they noticed that there's an error in our sphere of influence. And so they can only change the boundary through an MSR process. I'm sorry, they can only change the sphere of influence boundaries during an MSR process. So fortunately, this MSR process is happening because this prevented us from having the authority to change the boundary, because this sphere of influence area is the old Larkspur sanitation area. The area that we annexed in 1993 was never officially made part of our sphere of influence by LAFCO going back 30 years. So now they're going to correct this paper error. And then once they do that, then in the beginning of next year, we'll be able to have this boundary correction. So it's going forward, but it's just taking a little bit longer.
We still have properties that were not between Sandy 2 and ourselves that are.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did a report on this. I think it was a board item. There's a parcel by parcel,
I thought
trade. Yeah.
But there's still more.
6. No.
No, it's the same ones because ours are in Larkspur, and LAFCO's like, well, you don't really have Larkspur because we made a mistake, so we got to clear that up first.
Right. Or it's a mistake made back in the 90s. So it's just a glitch. But yeah, we'll go forward, and we're assured LAFCO's ready to roll on our boundary correction when that oversight gets addressed. And the second, I want to let you know that we're moving forward on our Lift Station 30 Heather Gardens project. It's out to bid, as we said last month. We have a pre-bid meeting tomorrow, and bids will open on October 3rd. We've talked about this project. It's a climate change adaptation project. This is an area under at a low elevation that's subject to impacts from sea level rise. So we're going to raise our electronics up out of the floodplain. But what's unique about this project is the current building houses both a storm drain pump station owned by City of Larkspur and the sanitary pump station run by us, which we brought in during the annexation of that same area we just talked about. So we've structured this very cooperatively with Larkspur. We have the same design consultant that you approved, several months ago, and we're going to have one contract for both projects, and we've carefully defined the different bid items and those that Larkspur will fund and those that we will fund. We've agreed to be the lead, and so we're managing the bidding process and the contracting process, and we have a draft agreement with the City of Larkspur where they will reimburse us for, as we make progress payments. So they've adopted that, and we'll have that before you at the same board meeting as a proposed contract to be awarded to construct. So you'll see that in the near future. Third item, yes, City of Larkspur adopted the general plan changes on September 4th that changed the zoning of our Larkspur Landing site to MU1, mixed use. And so our real estate team is currently working on a conceptual site design, so you can visualize what is allowed to be built on the property with these new rules in terms of the site density and objective development design standards, how high buildings can be and the setbacks and everything else. So you will have a visualization of what's possible and what areas could be the affordable housing component and other maybe some market housing, and a mix, of a conceptual, not a proposed development, but just to give the board members and interested public an idea of what Larkspur's action has translated to for our site. And of course, we'll have our Pump Station 10 Corporation Yard built in there with the one-way traffic, so we're not backing up and making beeping noises for the neighborhood and things like that. So we hope to see a draft of that soon. maybe next month have an opportunity to share that with you.
Remind me, does that mean hotel? There's not a discussion about a hotel anymore?
No,
Okay.
no, it's the MU1 is, yeah, it's the housing, you know, but
great.
But the big article in the paper saying Larkspur finally approved their general plan, we got one line. One little line.
We got one what?
One line in the, and land owned by the Ross Valley Sanitary District changed to M1. Period. It was just that.
That's what we like to be.
Yep.
Low drama.
yeah, but it'll, you know, the zoning change really, it's not different than adjacent land uses, you know, as part of the, actually an environmental impact report was adopted at the same action, and those potential impacts were evaluated. And so it's fitting in the character of what's around it. If you know, you've been there many times, you know. Good. Anyway, that's exciting milestone, and we, you know, as staff are going to keep things moving forward for you to see, you know, what's possible, and then have the process of the RFP process, you know, to have developers propose on the site is not far in the future. Fourth, electric chargers are now here, operational here at 1111 Anderson. So you can plug your EV vehicle in. It took a while to get that going. Fifth, we spent a little time this month with our partners at Marin County Parks Department. They're building a new pedestrian bridge at the Hal Brown Park, Creekside Park. And there's a new abutment that you know, it's a longer bridge, so they needed to put a concrete abutment in near the bike path, but that's where our highly sensitive force main is located. So they were cooperative in potholing, and we found exactly what depth, and one of them is the old force main, so we weren't really sure exactly where it was because we slip lined it in the 2010 project. So we potholed it, and we've discovered that we were 17 feet away from the bridge abutment, a little close for comfort. And they're drilling these 45-degree angle piers. So we calculated using Pythagorean theorem that it's 13 feet below our force main where they're going to end up. So we signed off on it, but I did try to talk them out of drilling that pier in the field. I said, you know, you don't really need that pier, but they didn't listen to me. So
you couldn't talk them into drilling at 40 degrees.
Right. Yeah, right, exactly. So no, that was a good experience of cooperation. Phil Benedetti did a great job making sure protecting our assets. I'd like to mention that Felicia met on our behalf with the BACWA Managers Roundtable this Monday, and had a great meeting. And they were looking for a site to have the BACWA Managers Roundtable next January, and so we offered up this room, and they accepted. So we're going to host the BACWA.
How many people are there at that meeting?
The meeting that I attended on Monday was at least a dozen, maybe more. Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, that's coming in the coming months. I think that's it. Is there anything else?
There might be an update about the 2960 Kerner property.
Yeah, I just thought of that too.
Yeah.
Yes, we actually have a date. It's sort of like opening bids sort of thing, you know, what date, what's the date? And so the date we're telling people we want to have offers by Friday, October 11th. And we have a brochure, and it's going to go live in the next day or two, right?
We don't actually have a printed brochure. Oops, we don't actually have a printed brochure yet, but we do have an electronic version if the board is interested in taking a quick peek at that. Christina, can you bring that up for us? It's a really nice product that Joe and Hayden have been working on for us. And I thought you might be.
Does it show that the?
Oh, I love the blue.
Does it show the slant?
No, it does not show the slant.
We're not sure what you're talking about.
Fortunately, you can fix that with Photoshop.
Yeah, that's right. Please note the graphic.
Adjacent to an open
Bay views. Yeah.
So it is a several page document. So
we set a price on it.
27.5.
Yeah.
2.7.
2.75.
That's right.
Yeah. That I didn't see.
It's on the front cover.
It's always on the front cover. Yeah.
27.5.
So once this gets printed, we'll get a couple of extra copies and distribute it to the board if you'd like to have a printed copy of that.
We got to take that glass window.
I don't know that window's
We didn't show the parking
there
places in the
anymore.
hood there.
That was the
I
sticky on the
know, it
window.
showed the parking places as being perfectly,
Yeah.
whatever, perpendicular.
Yeah, easy
as
to park
opposed
into.
Like,
Yeah.
All right, here are all of the neighborhood amenities.
everything you need.
God, yeah.
It doesn't show spot on.
Not really that close to.
Where's Michael's? That's not there.
Yeah. Oh, Viking sandwiches. Is that not the same?
Oh, very nice.
Very good.
Yeah, we really think they did a very nice job on this brochure. And as the board knows, there've already been some interest in the property, and I think this is just going to generate even more.
Joe let me know that he's contacted 50 potential interested parties, and he's hosting a tour tomorrow morning.
Right.
There are 50 interested parties.
Yeah.
Well, he's contacted.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially interested.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Verbal report by board members and requests for future items.
Nope.
Hearing none. Consent calendar. Anyone have anything they'd wish to pull from the consent calendar?
I'd move to approve the consent.
Does it matter that Michael's not?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Informational items, monthly operations maintenance metrics report. Oh, wait, sorry, Jim.
What?
We just approved it on consent, correct?
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. It was C in the consent.
Information is 12A.
No, but Jim Gibbs just came in.
Oh, Gibbs.
We
That
just
guy.
approved it, Jim. Thank you for coming.
And what was he coming for?
He is.
A financial advisor?
Yeah, he's Sperry Capital. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Is that because of the topsiders?
Hold on. I unmove.
No.
You can't unmove.
All right. Well, we've already approved it, but does anyone have any questions for Jim, who is
a real quick summary, Jim? Don't you think we'd like to hear, like, what do you expect? And
so I don't know if in case board members didn't necessarily review this, it was that we are preparing. Well, I'll let Tom explain.
well, we're going to refund.
Let Jim explain.
We're going to refund the 3 bond
Right.
issues,
Right.
and that's it. And so we hired the people that do all the work,
Mm-hmm.
including Sperry and the law firm.
Yeah, for bond counsel. Yeah, for bond counsel. So there's 2 agreements that you've approved. But yes, Jim, I'm sure the board members would be interested in hearing a high-level overview of what we're contemplating for this January, February timeframe.
That we just approved.
30,000 feet. There you go. So you have, as of January 1st of 2025, 3 of your outstanding bond issues, those issued in 2013, 14, and 18, are all callable at par. That is, without any penalty, you can pay off those bond issues in their entirety or refinance them. And it turns out that refinancing without penalty is what is the smart thing to do. And we have, as of conditions in the bond market today, you will, over the remaining life of those bond issues, which is about 20 years, you'll realize about a little over $6 million in cash flow savings. In addition, if you wish to, when we structure those refunding bonds, we could actually deliver to you at closing about $4.5 million in cash, without any penalty, if you want to, build up, add to your capital reserves. So the market is terrific today, and with the action of the Federal Reserve to reduce interest rates, and frankly, the way that we know the municipal bond market behaves at the beginning of the year, January is always a really good time to sell bonds. The outlook is that this will be really a very beneficial transaction. And we're looking forward to providing the advice to make it happen.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you think it might have a positive effect on our credit rating?
Well, I'll do the best I can.
Thank you, Jim. And also, I mean, I think, I don't know if all board members realize, but Tom is an amazing asset to this board and to this public agency because of his in-depth knowledge of all of this stuff and making sure that both we get the best counsel and acting in the, like the best fiduciary interest of our ratepayers. So thank you, Tom, for being on top of all these things.
He's very good at this.
I also pick people that are good to
get right, and he knows the best people to bring in to help us, and players, which is always good because then there are efficiencies of process. So, thank you, Michael. We already voted on the consent calendar.
So you got hired, Jim.
Have a good evening, Jim.
Thank you.
All right, item number 12, monthly operations and maintenance.
Good. We'll have Paul Broomer, Operation Maintenance Manager, come up and give you the highlights of this month's monthly metrics report.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello. Thank you for your time this evening. Hopefully you've had a chance to skim through a little bit and see some of the highlights, all the great work that we're doing here at the district. Operations, as you know, we've hired a new employee after a couple months, and as part of the probation period, staff are rotated through one of the 4 divisions, which includes line repair, line maintenance, pump station, and CCTV. Recently, the new staff members completed in the repair division and has moved on to pump station, is doing really well, I'd like to state. Really great employee, is doing really well. So it's really good to see. Staff, we have a pretty big shutdown coming up with the pump station crew. Staff been collaborating with JPA members, CMSA treatment plant. We're going to be shutting down the treatment plant, Sanitary District 2, ourselves, San Quentin Prison, all to change a large diameter 24-inch flange on the force main before it comes through the hill over here to the treatment plant. It's a pretty big project. We've been doing some testing. We surcharged pump station 13 overnight and then pumped it down to see what our system capacity is over there, because we're actually going to have to shut everything down and actually drain that system back into the basin so that we can get the water level enough going up the hill over here to where we can actually remove that lid and get a new one put on there. So that's going to happen in the first week of October. So we have one more little planning session we're going to test, but we're really prepared for it, and we've all been working together, so it should have a good outcome and hopefully go smooth.
How long will that operation take, do you think?
Probably about 6 hours, 8 at the most, hoping no longer than that, because basically we did some calculations. We're actually going to use our new bypass pump at the treatment plant because we have to drain the force main coming through the hill. So we're actually going to be pumping about 250,000 gallons out of that force main back into the treatment plant. And then we're going to siphon back about 160,000 gallons back into the Green Braid district. And hopefully that high point will drain out enough just to get the new lid on. it's a pretty high stakes project, but we're, like I said, we're well prepared and we're all communicating. So
yeah, you know, and you noticed that Paul mentioned the brand new the pump. You know, that was part of this year's fixed asset purchases. So, you know, not only does it help us with our needs and emergency response, but it helps us in these joint projects with the treatment plant.
And if it rains, Paul, you'd postpone, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. I'm not ready for wet weather yet. But it seems like it's coming sooner than we think. Line maintenance crew has been doing a lot of work. We've shuffled the crews around recently in the last month. We were pulling some staff out of line maintenance to get ready on pump stations for winter and some of these bigger projects. But they've been doing a lot of work in the easements. As you know, they're very difficult terrain, and staff cleaned a long 12-inch easement over in Fairfax, which is off of Meadow Way, runs parallel to Bolinas. In preparation, staff went through the whole easement, contacted all the homeowners, did a field survey to see which laterals needed to be plugged off. If they're too close to the main, that we can blow out their toilets and do toilet splash. So we're trying to be proactive and seal them off before we're flushing to resolve any of those issues before they come around. So staff did a really good job working with all the residents. It actually took them 3 days in and out just due to the steep terrain, and they're actually pulling the hose down into the easement and then flushing the system. So they're actually dragging the hose through those areas, and so it's a good amount of work. So I really wanted to highlight that and the hard work they're doing out there. And then the repair crew, I know I said last month that it was their highest pipe patch ever, but they blew us away again. 52 point repairs throughout the system, and a lot of this is due to, like we said, the high frequency cleaning initiative we're doing to try to reduce that and take some of the load off of the line cleaning and properly analyze our cleaning schedules for our system. With these 52 point repairs, the repair crew has finished all the repairs for root fine joints in the 6-month cleanings. I think overall it was a lot. I don't have the actual number for you, but I would say about 150, 200 patches probably that they've put in to help alleviate this high frequency cleaning. And they've been doing a great job. They're working really hard out there. And 52 point repairs, another high for me. So it's good to see. Condition assessment is continuing to work finding defective lateral taps. In the month of August, they found 3 for repair. So we'll send out notifications to them. And then they're also out working GPSing manholes and other assets that have not been marked and located throughout the district. They did 32 of those. And then one more highlight that's not on here, but I'll tell you, is CCTV crew's been working with the engineering group to do some post CIP work. They're TVing a lot of the pipes that have been rehabbed recently to help speed up the process of our flushing schedule rescheduling. So we're also doing that part of the flushing reschedule. As soon as they're CIP'd and replaced, we can take a look at them in-house real quick and then put a better schedule on them than the older pipes that are there.
Yeah, that's the follow-up to the current glossage job that we're out there rehabilitating pipes. And so instead of relying on the contractor to verify that they're meeting district standards, we're actually deploying our camera crew out, and then we record that video for our database, whereas the contractor, it was a cheap camera, not really easy to read and all that.
We end up having to go back out and redoing it again anyway. So we're just taking the initiative and going out there and doing it.
Yeah. This is one of our pursuits of improvement, like ways to, we need to do it anyway. Let's just think about it and schedule it. And staff are doing a great job coordinating. So it's a nice innovation. Yeah, we will acknowledge we did have a spill. It was a small spill on a very old sewer. How we replaced the Laurel Grove Kentfield sewer a few years ago. That was, laid originally in 1900. Well, this is also another 1,900 on the Laurel Grove, on the Ross side of Laurel Grove.
Oh,
Goes down, there's a
And
road.
it's one of those, we like to squeeze every year we can out of our assets, but this one might be pushing it a little bit.
124 years.
so wait, right in Laurel Grove, right in the roadway?
Right near our, near our driveway.
Uh-huh.
But you do not use your toilet as a trash can, right?
No.
No.
Didn't I go
Oh.
down to
No.
Walnut Road. But I looked everywhere for any sign of that. I couldn't find a thing.
Yeah, staff did
It would be some damp or something.
the staff does a great job of cleanup.
That was a full capture. It would have been a category 1 spill, but with a full capture, it ended up being a category 3. Staff did a great job. Like you said, they vacuumed it up, any remnants, cleaned it all up, removed the dirt, everything.
Yeah.
Did anybody know what happened even?
Just the reporting party.
Good for them.
Yeah, it was we quietly cleaned it up.
Yes, and that's something we're really taking initiative on any spills, is capturing 100%, chasing it in storm drains, culverts, creeks, anything we can.
Yeah.
Was our structural problem, not
Yes.
theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an old sewer, it's unreinforced. Well, yeah, it's clay, right?
Yeah, it's
clay. Yeah. So, and it's, we've elevated it on our capital list. Anytime we have an SSO, we think about, is there a capital solution? Certainly there is for a 124-year-old sewer. Yeah.
All right.
You have any questions?
Looks great, Paul. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Director Kelly had to go moderate an MMWD
Thanks, Paul.
candidates forum. He was not being rude. I joked with him about whether this would be over by 7, but later than I thought it would be. Thank you all, everyone. We're adjourned until October 16th at 5 p.m.